All right, I'm joined with Derek Cuenca, CEO of Lake Granbury Medical Center. Derek, you just finished speaking about all the good things that are going on at Lake Granbury Medical Center, and also about healthcare exchanges and how that's going to impact people here in Hood County. But first, let's talk about the new things that are happening at the hospital.
Well, the new things that are happening at the hospital, I mean, we really have a tremendous amount of technology, but we just added some new service lines, a dialysis program. For the first time ever, we're providing dialysis services so patients don't have to leave the county or the surrounding counties to seek out those services. But also, we're adding another medical office building. It's about 40,000 square feet, about $7 million. We partnered with the Skiles Group in order to do this and another development company. But it adds a tremendous amount of footprint to the campus, but it also adds an opportunity to add services to the hospital.
You know, a lot of people think when they talk about economic development and they're looking at, oh, well, that's new industry, or that's new this, or that's new this, but in truth, healthcare is a big economic impact too to Hood County. Not only in the facilities that the hospital is bringing, but as you say, the new physicians and everybody else that we bring to town.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the hospital in itself is a tremendous economic driver. I mean, we recruit a tremendous amount of physicians to the community, and for every one of those physicians, it requires highly trained personnel to support them. So about 2 to 3 in their office, and then usually about another 2 or 3 in the hospital once they get ramped up. But in addition to that, when it comes to economic development, employers, workforces, industry, when they come to a community, one of the questions they ask is like, well, how are you going to keep my workforce healthy? And part of what Lake Granbury Medical Center does is provide that quality service to make sure that we're going to keep that workforce healthy. So we can answer that question confidently in Hood County and in Lake Granbury, that when a company comes here and is like, hey, I'm looking to put my company here, where do I get healthcare services? Are they going to leave for the day? Well, the answer is no. I mean, we have the healthcare services here. We continue to expand that footprint in the community to make sure that we're supporting all our business here.
I know that Lake Granbury Medical Center is part of a large corporation, Community Health Systems, 133 hospitals, fixing to expand to almost 200 hospitals. And part of your role as the CEO is to basically take the message to your employer, to Community Health Systems, and say, guys, the growth is here in Granbury. We need to continue to invest in this hospital, in this community, and begin and continue to expand it. And that has happened throughout the last 15 years that you guys have been here.
No, that's absolutely the message. I mean, part of my job, I'm committed to this community. So I'm part of a large corporation, but at the end of the day, I live here, I get health care here. The businesses here take care of my needs for my home and my family. So I'm delivering a message that we need to continue to support this community, and if we do our job, then we're going to allow this community to grow and flourish and become bigger and bigger every year.
And you know, it's the 500 or over 500 now employees at Lake Granbury Medical Center that they go and they eat lunch every day, and they go and they go to the grocery stores, and they go to the football games and everything else.
They do it all. We have a very young medical staff, and with that young medical staff comes husband, wives, family, kids, and also parents. We have a tremendous amount of doctors that have actually moved their parents here as they've taken on positions here in the community and established their practices. So, like I said, one doctor could mean 5, 6, 10 extra people into the community, but also jobs, economic growth, people spending money in Granbury.
Well, and the other part of your speech today, we're talking about the newest thing, which is healthcare exchanges, and irregardless of your political views on healthcare exchanges, you are it is the law of the land, and it is October 1. We're going to have healthcare exchanges. People are going to have to make choices.
That's correct. I mean, at the end of the day, the law was passed, and in our country, the law is the law, and it comes down to executing that law. So whether we like it or not, it's in effect, and it's going to take place. So my job as taking care of the hospital and making sure I'm taking care of the needs of the community from a healthcare standpoint is to make sure that we're prepared as a hospital and as a community to make sure that we can get the people enrolled and follow along with the law. Healthcare is going through a tremendous amount of change. It's certainly going to change even more. But if we can't sit idle, I think we need to be proactive in terms of how we're going to approach it. And as the laws change and as change happens, and it's a fact of life, change happens, that we need to take a proactive stance on it.
Now, the state of Texas is not going to participate in the Medicaid program from an administrative perspective. They're going to leave that up to the federal government, which means now we're going to have what you call a healthcare navigator for this individual mandate. I am required as an individual to have insurance. If I don't get it through my employer, or I don't get it through some other government means, in other words, Medicare or Medicaid or whatever, I'm required to have insurance. So you mentioned healthcare navigators. Explain what that is.
Well, the healthcare navigator is to help the individual go through and find out what insurance works for them. There's going to be different platforms and different tiers in terms of insurance, where from bronze, silver, gold, platinum. And that navigator is supposed to be knowledgeable in those particular delivery and those types of coverage, and they're supposed to help that individual consumer make that choice on what works best for them and their family from a financial standpoint and from a coverage standpoint. Obviously, a 25-year-old healthy adult doesn't probably need the same level of coverage as maybe a 56-year-old adult.
And the other big thing that you mentioned several times as you were giving your speech was that pre-existing conditions and refusing people on health care, those are not options anymore for insurance companies.
No, that's part of the Affordable Care Act. It's part of the law, is that they cannot deny coverage for those individuals. So the premiums, as I understand it today, if you're choosing the bronze coverage, you're not going to be denied, or if you choose the silver coverage, you're not going to be denied, and those premiums will be consistent with other people without those necessarily pre-existing conditions. It's all going to, it's typically, everybody asks how you're going to pay for it, but it's going to be premium credits and tax credits, and there's going to be associated with some tax penalties for those people that do have, say, the financial means but choose not to seek out that coverage. But I think that's time will tell on how that's going to play out and how these navigators are effective in terms of getting people enrolled.
Well, and I know I drove by the hospital this morning coming to the conference, and I saw the crane was up and they were delivering stuff, and fence was up and everything else. So we're deep in the middle of construction now.
Construction is a good thing. So construction is a good thing.
How long do you think before building's actually up and operational?
I think what we're going to see, you're going to see some steel come up here in the next probably 3 to 4 months, and then you're going to see the outer walls go up about a couple months after that. But really, we're probably looking mid next year to where we're actually moving into the building. With construction, you get that steel up, and people's like, okay, we're in the walls. You get the walls up, and they're like, when are we moving in? Well, there's a lot of things that have to happen inside for us to make it a safe, good place for people to work. So,
and just to talk about the growth that you have in the hospital, most everybody that has been to the hospital knows that we have one big parking lot out in the front, but now we're going to have a parking lot just for the people that work at the hospital.
Oh, yeah. We're adding just over 180 spaces to the hospital campus. It's going to be in the back of the new medical office building. And that's going to primarily be used for staff parking. And, it's going to be staff parking because it's going to be in the back of the hospital, but it's going to also open up the entire front hospital parking lot for patients, so that allows them easier access into the facility.
Well, we thank you for your time, Derek. Derek Cuenca, CEO, Lake Granbury Medical Center. I'm joined here by Judge Darryl Cockrum, County Judge of Hood County. And Judge, a lot of people say, what is it that a judge do? And I guess they expect them to be sitting behind a bench to make a decision or marry people or do all those things. But as the county judge of Hood County, one of your big focuses is absolutely growing the economy of Hood County.
That's right. As a member of the Economic Development Corporation, that is one of our primary functions. And when I came into office, the Economic Development Corporation was primarily concentrating on retail. And I would really like to kind of change that focus and go over to get some manufacturing in, get some industry, light industry in, clean industry, so that we could have some really good paying jobs here in Hood County for the folks.
Judge, we talked with the total equipment guys and just how big that operation is there. And I guess out of sight, out of mind, because we don't see the product here in Hood County, but it's going from Hood County and going all over the nation, probably overseas some too, this equipment that's being manufactured right here.
That's right. They employ a lot of folks out there, and some of that equipment is that they build is like $1 million a unit. So it's not a little operation. It's like you said, worldwide, and the way oil and gas and fracking and everything is going here in the state of Texas, they're really producing the units.
While you've been judge here, you've opened up Loop 567. We've talked with several people this morning about Loop 567 and its importance. How do you see it playing out over the next 5 to 10 years?
I see a lot of development. So that area that it opened up is really a pretty area, and I think there's going to be a lot of development coming into that area, new housing developments, and so provide a lot more places for people to build houses and live out there.
And, you know, we had a gentleman speaking just earlier about Luton Ranch and the different things that are going on there. So retail, as you say, it's not necessarily your primary focus, although it comes along with growth. And so the focus of the county must be on growth and continuing to open up areas of the county that are right now basically raw pasture land. And let's see if we can't get some of that stuff developed.
Well, that's true, and I'm not against retail. I don't want it to sound that way. I think retail is good, but you got to have the folks to go into those retail stores and provide the money to to buy the merchandise that they're selling. And I was really glad to hear about Marshalls and Ross coming in, and I think that's a good deal. He said it'll be a good while before they're here, but we can add a couple of more retail clothing outlets. That's really good for the community.
Well, and the last thing and most importantly is we've heard about the economic development of the lake, and I know that has continued to be your focus as the county judge, is sort of spearheading that cause to say, okay, it's time for us to pull the gloves off a little bit and ensure that the folks at the Brazos River and BRA and at the statewide level understand just how important the lake is to the Granbury community.
Well, really, there's kind of two sides to that. The two sides is that the existing property could fall in evaluation, and if it falls to what people are saying, it could eliminate $500 million on our tax base. $500 million out of $5 billion, which is roughly 10%, which would be about 5 cents. And then he said, if we don't do something about it, the growth could be cut down by 600,000. So that's, if you have 1 cent forever, that's 11-cent swing. So if we had full lake, everybody's moving in and developing property, we could build another 600,000. We wouldn't lose the 500,000, and the county and the city would be in a lot better, lot better shape economically, financially, because of the ad valorem tax, which we depend on to run the county business.
Well, I know you're going to continue to spearhead that cause, and we appreciate your leadership over this and through this and beyond this.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Judge.
Thank you, Kevin.
Absolutely. All right, I'm Kevin Myers, joined here on Granbury TV with college president Kevin Eaton from Weatherford College. And Kevin, 3 years ago, Weatherford College made an investment in Hood County and said, we're going to open up a college campus, and things just continue to grow from there.
Yes, sir. 3 years ago, we had an enrollment for the fall semester of 130 students. As of today, our enrollment stands at 363 students. That's quite an increase over a 3-year period of time, and we just see things improving and continuing to improve over the next 15, 20, however many years. We have the pleasure of participating in this county.
Well, we've talked with several people this morning about the impact and importance of college and different things on economic development, but that's really one of the big roles of the junior college environment, is to prepare people for the workforce, get them started in college, get them ready. That's really kind of your purview and what it is that you guys really do.
Well, Weatherford College, as a community college, our goal is to build relationships with our local communities, and part of those relationships would be helping the local workforce. We have a number of technical programs and continuing education programs that allow us to build partnerships in the local community and the local workforce, and we feel like that is one of the main roles of the community college, is make sure that your local workforce is strong and can continue to operate within the local community at a level that it needs to for the community to be successful.
It's so important. It's so important for an employer that comes to Hood County to say, yes, I can actually, yes, I can come and open up a business, and yes, I can find that skilled or maybe semi-skilled workforce to come in here and work for me. And for a lot of businesses, like restaurants and those kind of things, they're looking to that college-age student to be that person, not only for that, but that's also the time that they're going to school. And with the Weatherford College campus here in Granbury, now we've taken out the problem of, okay, yes, I have to work 8 to 5, but then I have to turn around and drive 40 minutes to Tarleton, or I have to drive 30 minutes up to Weatherford to go to the main campus, and we continue to see growth in that area.
That's right, and I'm glad you brought up Tarleton, because our partnership with Tarleton and our four-year partners has just continued to grow as well. And what our ultimate goal is for a resident of Hood County to be able to come to our campus in Granbury and not only complete their two-year associate's degree, but to continue on with Tarleton classes at our location and be able to complete a four-year degree as well. We'd like them to be able to stay in Granbury, keep their business in Granbury, but be able to complete a four-year degree while they're here.
Well, and just as you've said, it's just been steady growth there at Weatherford College here locally. And you guys took a bit of a leap of faith when you opened up this campus. Said, well, we look at it, we have X number of students to drive up to our campus. We expect that it will grow, and it's just nice to see that it has actually begun to play out as you draw it up and say, this is how we're going to do it.
And I appreciate the community view that we took the leap of faith. I personally believe that it was the community that took the leap of faith on Weatherford College, and we greatly appreciate that.
Well, great. We appreciate you being here today.
Right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kevin.
Right, I'm joined with Mitchell George, the new marketing director for the city of Granbury. Mitchell, this is a great venue to have the economic development conference this year here in the conference center of the city of Granbury.
Oh, Kevin, this is a great opportunity for Granbury in general, but we are privileged to have a facility like this in Granbury to be able to host these conferences, but it gives the public opportunity for many different uses.
You know, I came early this morning and was talking to your staff a little bit, and I said, well, are you guys busy? And they were running through the different things that are happening. You've got one meeting that's here every day for like 5 weeks. And
Actually, 6.
6 weeks,
Yes.
yeah, 6 weeks. And then you've got this one, and
Yeah.
you've got another one this weekend, and then you throw in weddings and all those different things. This facility is getting a tremendous amount of use.
Yeah, we have really the opportunity to showcase what we're about really to the state of Texas. We've got opportunities even through next year with the Texas Downtown Association coming in to Granbury. They're going to bring in almost 1,000 people into the city to showcase what we're about, and it's all because of this facility right here.
You know, your job is and we talk about economic development, and one of the pieces of that we talk quite a bit about is tourism and those kind of things, and these kind of places bring in those heads in beds, as we affectionately name it, but heads in beds and staying overnight, spending money, eating dinner, and all the different things. It just has a ripple effect throughout the economy here in Granbury.
It absolutely does, and when people talk about Granbury, obviously the lake is a big factor, and there are challenges, Kevin, but our focus is heads and beds, and we're going to start and continue to attract other amenities, venues, events, both on the square and out on 377 to help businesses in their growth, and continue to focus on the heads and beds with these long-term events and venues.
And what is I guess the catchphrase plan marketing wise for the city for this will be your first real budget year that you've been here? You've been on the job about 3 months now.
That's about right.
About right,
Yeah.
3 months now. I know that even for Granbury TV, you've been able to help put together this deal with Tarleton State University, where where not only are we using their radio station to broadcast all of Granbury Pirate sports, but we're getting some of their resources coming here as interns, students, to be able to get out and just different things that you're going to be able to do.
Kevin, this is probably one of the best partnerships that we've had in a long time. We've been able to communicate with their professors and deans to be able to help us in resourcing different programs that we have coming up, whether it be through social media, the internship program that's going to help our station, the radio station, the TV station grow, and it's going to help just businesses in general, because we're going to be able to use those interns in our community, interviewing, working with businesses, and working through sponsorships.
Well, we appreciate your time, Mitchell. And Mitchell George, Marketing Director for the City of Granbury.
Thanks, Kevin.
All right, we're back. Kevin Myers with Granbury TV, joined by Mike Scott, Chamber of Commerce President, and here at the Economic Development Conference here for 2013. Mike, what's going on business-wise in Hood County?
Oh, Kevin, it's exciting. We're getting, and you'll find out more this morning, but we're getting all kinds of interest in Granbury, and we've got a lot of businesses coming in. We've got a lot of commercial interest in the Jerry Durant Commerce Center. I'm looking at this morning. I saw about 15 or 20 companies that have an interest in what's going on in Granbury. We're seeing new businesses come in every day. Of course, the Vista Corporation and the HEB Luton Ranch Shopping Center is booming, and lots of stuff going on out there. We got a brand new Dairy Queen that
I was there.
That, without a doubt, was the second biggest ribbon cutting the Chamber's ever done in the last 8 years.
Well, I can tell you, I mean, my daughters and I right there in line had to get our Blizzard on the first day it was open, and
absolutely, and they're thrilled. And they said that was one of the biggest openings they've had, and they've got 58 stores in the state of Texas.
Wow.
So that particular corporation does.
I know you guys are always looking for a balance between retail and industrial and commercial and those kind of things, and sometimes we get a little out of balance and those kind of things. So how do you guys struggle to try to keep a good balance between all the different things here in Granbury?
Well, I think primarily the Economic Development Corporation and the Chamber tend to go after commercial. Retail is pretty much going to come on its own. You know, and the city kind of focuses on retail a little bit more than the EDC does. But we take it all. I mean, we're happy to have all of it. But quite honestly, the better jobs and the better paying jobs are going to be with the commercial side.
Well, and as you say, the retail, the restaurants and those kind of mom and pop organizations kind of come on their own, but there's still a lot of logic that goes behind those companies opening up places here. You know, a lot of demographic studies, a lot of those things. So as we see new businesses open up, it tells us that the market and environment here in Hood County is good for business.
Absolutely, and most of the folks I'm talking to out there are having a great year. You know, there's a few segments of the city and county that are not having a great year, but overall, I think business is good. And I'm seeing a real upbeat attitude. So.
Well, I know one of the things, and we're going to talk, it's going to be a focus of today's program, is the lake and everything that goes along with the lake. And what impact can you say, as the Chamber President, the lake levels are happening here in our local economy?
Well, we're going to hear more about that this morning. The Chamber helped fund an economic impact study just to look at that, and I think we have some. I wouldn't call it rudimentary information, but we have some information that kind of points to that. But obviously, the lake-related businesses, the marinas and things like that, are suffering. But there's also a tourism impact, and there's a weekender impact. The folks that are, that have the weekend homes are probably not coming like they once did because they can't get their boat in the water. So it's definitely an impact. I mean, no doubt about it. But thankfully, the rest of the economy, I think, is offsetting that.
It's picking up.
Yeah. So.
Well, and we, certainly appreciate the work that we certainly
Hi there.
certainly appreciate the work that the Chamber of Commerce is doing, and all the different things. This is new. This is new to Granbury, and doing these kind of conferences on a yearly basis, and say we have a commitment to business and those kind of things here. We're in kind of a learning curve, and Granbury in and of itself, and Hood County in and of itself, look at the population growth. We are not as small a town as we used to be, and times are growing.
Absolutely. It's good to be here.
Good to be here.
Thank you,
you for
sir.
your time.
All right.